in the Rebirth brass band, one of the most popular brass bands in New Orleans. We travel a lot. I've been playing music since the age of 11 as a professional. I've traveled around the world and been just about everywhere that I can want to go. 2008, we opened up the program, which was supposed to be 19 kids. 42 kids showed up the first day, unexpectedly, and 65 the next week. We were over 100 the third week, and that was out without any advertising, anything. We just found that the need was greater than what we ever expected. We was thinking to gradually grow over time. The kids was talking about growing right then. When I was young, right after school, my grandmother used to make me do my homework as soon as I get home. It was still fresh in my head. I had her help. When I got to Bell, the program was right after school. Got out of school at about 3:15, and band practice led on about 6, 7 o'clock. And I felt like after that I was tired. I didn't really want to do any homework, so I started failing in a lot of my classes because of homework that I wasn't doing. And you know, that's a reassurance of what you learned that day. And I started feeling a little bit because of that. So I wanted my program not to take away from the academics, but to help mentor and help out the academics. The next thing was transportation, because I stayed 11 blocks instead of 12 from the school, so I didn't get bus tickets, and I had to walk home after band practice. And I felt like I was giving the school a service of me playing in their band. They made money off of me, even though they taught me, but they should have at least offered me a ride home, because I walked through, I had some dangerous neighborhoods I used to have to walk through, and it was like they didn't care. After I left band practice, I was on my own to get to wherever I had to go. And the last thing I was always a greedy kid, so I felt like the music program should have had something to eat after you played all day, because you ate food for lunch at 12 o'clock, you got out of school at 3 o'clock, you're in band practice almost 6, 7 o'clock, you ain't eating nothing all that time. So I felt like you really needed some food in those in a program like the one I was envisioning. Kids are in a lot of different predicaments and situations that you would never guess that kids are in. And that led us to doing different things, like going and reach out to social workers and have them come over and help out, because you were dealing with kids that were not being raised by their parents now after Katrina. They were being raised by a lady they used to call their grandmother that they didn't find out wasn't their grandmother until, you know, joining this program when she had to sign them up. Something crazy to that effect. You just was in all kind of situations that you knew kids needed to express themselves other than just music, but to actually just speak out what they were feeling. So we got with a lady named Parker, and she came over with some social workers, and we went to find out different things about the program, where kids were more comfortable being here. They felt at ease to speak with us and open up to us about just about anything. Over the years, you know, kids say the darndest things, you know, and I've had, I seen one of my first tuba players yesterday, if I want to just come up to something and I asked him what he was doing. He's like, I'm working and I want to get back on my horn on a regular basis. But he's actually one of the first cats that made me know that there was, I was making a difference in kids' lives because of the situation that he was in. And he was living in a drug-infested house, and just asked me to let him march in his band because he didn't want to go home. And once I seen the house, I understood what he was saying, and he was one of those kids that he always was play a special part because of the way he asked me and the things he did to prove that he wanted to be in his band. I look at him as giving them the opportunity and letting them make the difference in their lives. You know, the harder they work, the more the achievements they can get. You know, the bigger the rewards. So I leave that totally on them. I just give them the opportunity. You know, I had the opportunity of being in a great program, and it opened so many different doors for me. Even though my junior high band director never wanted me to play in a jazz band. So, you know, the opportunity that he gave me the opportunity of being in a brass band, but taking it to the next level and playing my drum. So it worked hand in hand, but he never wanted me in a brass band. I want every opportunity for these kids. I want them to be in brass bands, rock bands, classical bands. I don't care. I want them to have the ability to do all of them. If they're going on to college, we have a few kids that we know where they are. We have 2 kids that's going to Berkeley School of Music. We have 1 kid. We have a bunch of kids in NOCA School of Music. NOCA. We have a bunch of kids that are in just about every marching band in the city, and the thing that makes me really happy about saying that is that most of the kids that are in the marching bands in the city are section leader and assistant section leaders in those bands, and they're representing Roots by just being there. I'm gonna be honest with you, if I knew that Roots music was as much work as it is, I don't believe that I would have started it, mainly because I am a full-time musician, and to go from being a musician to a businessman, dealing with a nonprofit, is 2 totally different lives, and it's very hard. I miss a lot of gigs, and music is my life. I love playing my drum. I love being on stage. I feel like that's when I'm at my best. And I have to miss a lot of gigs because of Roots, because of other obligations that I have to be here for, doing an interview or doing something that I have to do with Roots, that I have to miss playing my drum with Rebirth. And my band is very understanding, but at times I know that have to be, you know, kind of hard on them. You know, you're used to your core people doing certain things, and somebody's not there, you're using the alternate, and it's just not the same, you know. So, you know, I always thank them because I know they're putting up with a lot also. There's no I in team. It takes a whole team to run this program, and it's not fully on myself. I have a lot of people, I call them like a football team. I have different people in different positions, and if everybody perform, they do this correctly, we can score and win the Super Bowl every time. So with this program, you know, everybody has to have a part that they have to play, and my part just may be sometimes standing there, being there, when other people's parts are actually moving and making the puzzle, or putting the puzzle together.